Well, what do we have today? Well, we have ourselves an Elimination Chamber review and results show. My name is DeFranz, and I'm here on February 25th, 2018, where we just had what was two chamber matches, two throwaway matches, and Ronda Rousey's shining, which was it was a pretty good bit. I did have a lot of fun with the way that one ended. The women did hold their own in the Elimination Chamber. It was actually surprisingly a pretty good match. Wasn't the best, wasn't even close to the worst. That IC title match from a couple years ago to decide who was the Intercontinental Champion when Daniel Bryan was injured. That still holds as the worst Elimination Chamber of all time. This one was about in the middle between the best of all time and the worst of all time for them. The women did do well. We did see Sasha Banks turn against her best friend and pretty much show the side of Sasha Banks we always wanted. On the men's side, we all knew it was happening. There was no way they were going to go away from it, but the way they booked this match, it pissed me off with the way they went. You had Braun Strowman come into this match and pretty much clean house, and Roman Reigns ends up winning the match after all that, which in my opinion was a dumbass idea. You're going to have Braun Strowman, who took a shield bomb from all four men besides The Miz, who got eliminated first. You had him take a finisher after finisher, a special move, and he took a spear early in the match and got kicked out. This guy takes two spears at the end of the match, and Roman wins. After the match, of course, he gets beat down. And he gave with two running power slams, and then thrown into a pod, which I was hoping was going to happen with Braun Strowman. I didn't think it was going to be at the end of the match, so there's that. But Matt and Bray Wyatt, it was an okay match. The tag team title match, who really cares? I wasn't even paying attention. That match was just, didn't really care. Ronda Rousey, of course, signed her contract tonight, and they really did set up the match between, looks like it's going to be her and Kurt Angle versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. And Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey do have a connection in the sports world because they are both former Olympians, gold medalists for Kurt Angle. I don't know I think she was a silver medalist for Ronda Rousey, but they're both Olympic medalists, so it would be like an Olympic team versus the Helmsley regime. So show overall. The Elimination Chambers, although they were both entertainment, I'm really disappointed how they went with the men's chamber match. We will get into it as we go. They did start off with the women's Elimination Chamber match. Before that, we did have the pre-show. And Kurt Angle did say that Jason Jordan will return. It sounded like he said he's going to miss Mania, but he sounds like he's going to be there the night after Mania, which means they wrote if he's going to show up the night after WrestleMania, then they wrote him out of plans for WrestleMania 100%, but he's going to be cleared in time for after Mania of this. They don't want to go and try and find a way to bring him back into Mania, so he will miss WrestleMania, but he looks like he might be there the night after or the week after, as it sounded like from Kurt Angle, which is good news. Nobody really cares about Jason Jordan with how badly they booked him, but it is good to see that his injury is not going to be as bad as it was previously reported. Speaking of neck injuries, we will touch on how Sheamus' injury looks like it's starting to show more and more as we go. Yeah, the Balor Club versus the Miz Taraj, who really cared. Balor Club wins with the Magic Killer to Axel for the 3 count. So there was that. Let's get on to the actual show. Women's Elimination Chamber match: Bliss, Banks, Bayley, and James, Rose, and Neville. Women's Championship match: Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks, Mickie James, and Mandy Rose are the 4 women in the pod. Sonya Deville and Bayley start the match off. Which, with that booking alone, right there, with the way they booked these first 2 women, I knew from start to finish who was coming in first, second, third, and fourth. It was going to be Bayley, then it was going to be Mandy Rose, then it was going to be Sasha Banks, then it was going to be Mickie James, and then Alexa Bliss last. As soon as they said Bayley and Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville were your first 2, I knew immediately how each one of these was going to go, just because of how they've been building this whole friendship thing. Of course you were going to have Mandy Rose come in first. Then you were going to have Sasha Banks come in first to back up Bayley. Then, of course, you were going to have Mickie James come in. And then you were going to have Alexa Bliss to come in last. That was a given, immediately. And they started it off with, say, Mickie James and Sonya Deville, or Mickie James and Mandy Rose, or Mickie James and somebody else, maybe we had a little bit of different story. But it was just the way they were building this match. This match's booking was so painfully obvious who was coming in first, second, third, and fourth. So let's see here. We had Bayley Chance in the T-Mobile Arena at the start of this match. A lot of people were pulling for Bayley to win this match. I was hoping for it too, but I know who was going to win this match. It was kind of obvious with how everything's been rumored, how it's going to be Nia versus Alexa Bliss. So if you already believe those rumors, then you know who won this match. Bulldog by Bayley to Deville, then she runs Deville into the turnbuckle. Deville stops her on the last one. She was like, running from each corner, smashing her face into each turnbuckle. She gets the one near Mandy Rose, and she gets stopped. Now Deville sends Bayley into the corner. Bayley runs into a fist. Bayley rolls to the outside. Bayley gets slingshotted. Looks like she's gonna get slingshotted into the cage. She catches herself and climbs up a little bit on the cage door. Then they both try to see who's going to throw who into the cage first. And they just did this back and forth, back and forth. I'm going to throw you, no, stop. I'm going to throw you and stop. And then they start fighting a little bit. And Bayley just grabs Deville and tosses her straight into the cage door. And Deville just drops like dead weight immediately. Like she wasn't expecting to actually hit that cage or how that cage was going to feel. That she just like hit the cage and she dropped like a sack of bricks. Bayley rolls her back inside and gets a 2 count. They did emphasize, because I know in past elimination chambers there have been eliminations outside on the padding on the steel grate in past elimination chambers. This time they actually they emphasized in both matches that they have to be on the inside the ring, which that's whatever. Bayley does take the match over for a bit for the time being. Sonya heads out up to the padding. Bayley with an elbow drop to Deville, rolls her back in, and Bayley gets another 2 count. Mandy Rose at this time enters the match. Who didn't see that coming? As I said, I knew immediately how this match was going to go when they started this. If it would have been Bayley versus Mickie James or Bayley versus Sasha Banks to start the match off, then it's a little bit of I don't know who's coming in next. But the fact that they went with Bayley and Sonya Deville, it could have been it could have been Sasha Banks, Sonya Deville, or Bayley versus Mandy Rose. This match was going to be Absolution member versus Bayley or Banks. Absolution member, then the other one of Bayley or Banks, then Mickie James, then Alexa Bliss. It was just so obvious from the fact that they were like, well, you have Absolution who are friends, you have Bayley and Sasha Banks who are friends, and then you have this alliance between Mickie James and Alexa Bliss. So it kind of made the entrance in this match a little too predictable. So Bayley is just holding her own against both Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, pretty much getting in all the offense against these two. She is just beating these two pillar to post back and forth. Definitely, I didn't expect that. I figured Bayley, she was gonna come in, Mandy Rose. She was gonna come in, and she was gonna just start taking it to Bayley, and it was gonna be a double team from the start. That did not happen actually, because Bayley did get a good bit of offense in before they ended up taking control. Bayley misses an elbow. Bayley nails Deville. Deville ends up nailing Bayley with a spear on the outside. It looked like a spear, like you go to hit them and grab them and slam them down, that type of spear. Rose and Deville pick up Bayley and they just have her in a seated position and just start ramming her back into the cage. I do like the fact that the women in this match weren't afraid to use the cage match. Usually they use the chamber. Usually when you have the women in a cage match or something, they don't use the cage that often. But no, these women went at each other in this cage match, or this elimination chamber, very hard. Deville gets a 2 count on Bayley. Rose gets 1 after that. Now Absolution starts taking to Bayley, laying waste to Bayley. Rose only gets another 2 count on Bayley. Then puts Bayley's on. Then this was really interesting, and of course it's harder for the guys because the size of the steel links. Most guys' arms can't go through it. They actually put both of her arms through the cage and just have her crucified, or look like she's being crucified on the cage, and just start wailing into her. It was a really cool looking spot, and I didn't expect them to actually do that. What I figured they would have Sonya Deville do was something like Shayna Baszler did to Ember Moon the last time they two fought. She had her arm through that steel barricade and just start wrenching on it to do some kind of submission to it later in the match. But no, this was even better, and I actually like this spot. They stomped the hell out of her. Next to the chamber was, of course, Sasha Banks, as I've already said. She goes after Absolution. Rose is sent into the plexiglass pod. Pod did not break in this match. I did not think the pod was going to break in this match because that would have just made it hell for later in the show when they wanted to have Braun Strowman put people through the plexiglass or himself, depending on how you wanted to do it. So there was not going to be any pods breaking in this match. It would have been cool, but it wasn't going to happen. Sasha Banks showed a vicious side to herself in this match. It was just great to see. This is the Sasha Banks we want to see. Also, we saw the Bayley we want to see, not the Bayley who's afraid, who's never been kissed or had a boyfriend, and is too afraid to touch a kendo stick. This is the Bayley we want to see, the vicious and like hard ass version of Bayley, who would actually sit there and kick your ass if she needed to. She'd hug you and then hit you with a Bayley to belly. She gets a 2 after all that on DeVille when she goes batshit crazy on her. Rose stomps the double knees and gets driven. Like she stops the double knees as Sasha Banks is going to hit Sonya Deville with them. She ends up getting Sasha Banks' feet around her shoulders and gets driven into the turnbuckle, like the turnbuckle connector where the metal piece is at, where the actual exposed metal is at. Because you have like the turnbuckle, you have a little bit of exposed, then you have like a padding. She literally looked like she hit the metal piece in the middle. Banks rolls up, Sonya rolled up for a 2 count by Sonya Deville. Bayley gets back up and drives Deville into the ring. Banks and Bayley throw Deville into the chamber wall 3 times. Bayley and Sasha Banks pretty much work pretty well together this entire match, for the most part. Rose drives Bayley into the chamber, who tosses Sasha into the ring. Rose flattens Banks in the ring. Banks' statement on Rose, and Rose is eliminated. Rose was the first. So in the first ever Women's Elimination Chamber match, Mandy Rose, who I think, wasn't she the person who was it? No, I don't think it was actually, was it Mandy Rose who got eliminated first in the Royal Rumble? I don't know. But Banks is the first person to get an elimination in the Women's Elimination Chamber, and Mandy Rose is the first woman to ever get eliminated. So the Absolution team is done. Next into the match is Mickie James, who comes in and goes after everyone. Kicks Banks, kicks to the gut of Banks, and a clothesline to both Banks and Bayley. Both Mickie and Banks try to roll each other up. Flapjack by Banks, then a kip up by the 2 Banks, then a kip up by Mickie James. DeVille stops that and then sends James into the chamber. DeVille picks up James and slams her into the chamber twice, but stopped and turned into a Hurricane Rana. Beautiful looking spot. Mickie climbs the chamber, but Bayley follows her. Women, like, this isn't the first time you'll see somebody in this match alone climbing the chamber walls. But Bayley follows her up, but up there, Bayley gets knocked off the chamber. And I will say this. The padding, I had a little iffiness for it last year, but I already know if we were using the old Elimination Chamber, that big one that they would actually have to lose some seating for, then the women would not be in that one because of that steel grating. There's no way they would allow the women into that Elimination Chamber. So them making this Elimination Chamber for last year's chamber and this year makes it more pliable, so you can have these type of spots where someone gets knocked off or someone climbs the chamber and just falls on the padding instead of a steel grate, because there's a lot less chance of injury. It still hurts because that padding, I believe, is the same material you find that they use for the ring itself, just in a more open space. So it's still going to hurt. It's not going to be like you're getting knocked into a pillow or anything. I don't know what that was. Mickie climbs the chamber and then... This is what... Okay, so Mickie James with the big high spot for the first part of the match. She gets on top of the chamber, knocks off Bayley. She gets up and jumps off and hits Sonya Deville with with her little jumping spot with the knees, with her knees or whatever you want to call it. And she pins Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville is eliminated. We are down to 4 women. Alexa Bliss is not in the match yet, and she's shocked because her ally, quote unquote, is not there anymore. So this is the one thing I don't get about this entire thing. You had Mickie James get eliminated before Alexa Bliss could get in the match. What was the whole point of all this, like, oh, we could be buddies again, help me keep my WWE Raw Women's Championship? What was the point? What was the point of the double team that they had on Monday night if you were not going to have Alexa Bliss and Mickie James have some kind of alliance, or Mickie James turns on Alexa Bliss or vice versa. That didn't happen. She was eliminated in this match soon after this. Another thing, first time I think in a long time Mickie James was not, and I don't know why she has to wear these things most of the time, but Mickie James was not wearing any form of bell bottoms. It was a nice little touch. I mean, she didn't wear them when she first came in, but somewhere down the road they decided to give her bell bottoms. She wore them when she came back. She usually wears the bell bottoms that are just on her legs and not in the entire suit. But this is the first time in forever on WWE television she wasn't wearing bell bottoms. It's a little nitpick, but it is what it is. And this was how the Veil got eliminated. Backstabber to Mickie James, and then a Bayley to Belly, and James is eliminated. We are down to 3. Bayley and Banks decide, well, we need to get rid of Alexa Bliss, and then it's going to be me and you. Alexa Bliss isn't in this match yet. These two start staring down Alexa Bliss, who is scared, looking like a scared little girl, because, oh no, I'm going to get beat down 2-on-1 between these two. Alexa Bliss's chamber pod goes to open. Alexa Bliss closes the chamber pod, trying to keep herself in, forgetting, and I don't know why they did this, but I guess it's for things like this. Old chamber, 1 door. New chamber, 2 doors. I don't know why they did that. I don't like the fact that there's 2 doors. I guess you can have 2 doors for things like this, but I don't like the fact that they have the 2 doors. I think that's just a little bleh. She closes the one side. Bayley and Banks are on the one side that she closed. The ref opens the other door. Alexa Bliss gets out of the chamber and starts climbing to try and get away from these two. And they follow her. They start chasing her around. She's running around the chamber pod. Eventually, both women get up on one pod each. She gets down. They come down too. She gets back up. She gets on the pod opposite of her by the ramp. Sasha Banks gets up there too. She looks like she's gonna help Bayley up, and then she just kicks Bayley down on the mat, down to the mat. Corey Graves is like, I told you she doesn't care about Sasha Banks. About Bayley. Why do I have to always be right? Why am I the only one who's always right? I can't argue with him. He's been telling everybody for a while she doesn't care about Bayley, but that's what happened. Sasha gets her hands on Bliss and kicks Bayley off the pod, sending her down to the chamber floor. Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss get down back on the chamber floor. Bayley ends up driving Sasha Banks into the turnbuckle. Bliss nails Bayley and gets her for a 2 count. Bliss goes after Bayley and beats her down. Bayley with a side suplex and goes after Bliss. I have it down as Bayley for some reason. And shoulder shots into Bliss. Now Sasha runs back in and unloads on Bayley. Vicious looking shots. I love to see Sasha Banks like this. I don't want to see the happy Sasha Banks. I want the bitch who don't give a fuck about anyone but herself. I'm better than you, and it's true. Sasha Banks. So nice to see that they brought this out of her. They're teasing a heel turn, and hopefully this is a actual heel turn. I don't want her coming out on Monday Night Raw and acting like everything's all good, kumbaya between these two. You turned your back on her, and now it's time to actually become a full-fledged heel. Unfortunately, I wish her or Bayley would have won this match, but Bayley tosses Banks into the trio woe. Really interesting looking spot. That could have looked like it was about to be dangerous. Stopping a mud hole into her, a la Stone Cold Steve Austin. Bliss back into it and suplex by Bliss to Bayley off the top rope. Sasha on the top rope with a frog splash to Bayley for a 2 count. Banks goes for the double knees on Bayley in the corner, missed, but sends Bayley's head first into the turnbuckle. Bayley to belly off the second rope, roll up by Bliss on Bayley, and she is eliminated. Kind of a weak way to have Bayley get eliminated, but she hits a Bayley to belly on Sasha Banks. Alexa Bliss comes over and just rolls her up 1, 2, 3, and they could have found a better way to have Bayley get finished. Maybe Alexa comes over and hits her with the DDT. It just was why didn't she just crack Bayley and just pin Sasha Banks so it's down to Bayley and Alexa Bliss. But I guess it's because of that crappy feud we had last year that they didn't want to follow that. Bliss sends Sasha for a 2 count right after. Twisted Bliss off knees by Sasha to Bliss. Knees to Bliss, but Banks on the chamber. I don't know what I had about that. Bliss moves, and Sasha gets caught up in the chamber. She went to go kick her in the face because she was kneeing her on the chamber, and she went to go kick her, do like the rough, like the Ryder shot kick. What is that? The Zack Ryder's woo 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 kick, something like that. But Bliss moves. She gets caught into the chamber. Bliss nails Banks in the back of the head with a knee shot, nasty looking knee shot. For some reason, Alexa Bliss decides, okay, well, I need to take out Sasha Banks. I'm going to climb the chamber pod right now. And Bliss ends up going with a twisted Bliss off the top of this pod while Banks is standing. Bliss ends up getting put into the Banks statement. They made the emphasis that yes, this needs to be done into the middle of the ring. So Sasha Banks rolls her in the ring with the Banks statement on. Unfortunately, and Bliss gets Banks up and cracks her head into the turnbuckle. Banks kicks her in the face a couple times. Banks goes up to the chamber pod. Before she can get up to the chamber pod, she's taking her sweet old time. Bliss trips her. Her head hits the top of the chamber, the roof of the chamber pod. She gets pulled down and she gets hit with the DDT off the top rope, like Cien Almas would do in NXT. And she ends up getting pinned for the 1-2-3 and winner and still champion Alexa Bliss. I'm just gonna say this, and I know others are gonna say it too. What does Sasha Banks have to do to be able to be winning a championship and hold it for more than 2 weeks? This woman lasted 50 minutes in the Royal Rumble. Last woman to be eliminated in this match. She's not going to be going to WrestleMania unless they do something else for her to be able to get to WrestleMania. It should have been Banks or Bayley winning this match. Banks turning heel on Bayley like she sort of did tonight. There were major boos in the crowd, and good boos, not just but like, oh, she can't believe she did that type of reaction. Like, this was the perfect time to turn Sasha Banks heel and pretty much stick it to Bayley, and then it would have been Banks versus Bayley at WrestleMania. But they didn't do that. They had Alexa Bliss because they want to do Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss at WrestleMania, and that is a pre-show match if I haven't seen one. You deserve a chance for Bliss, and then she starts cutting a babyface promo. This was one of the best little swerves. She's like, this was for all the women out there. This just shows that you can accomplish your dreams. Don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise. Then she says, I look out here and none of you will accomplish your dreams. Just had to start getting the fans on her side. Like, she's cutting this big baby fist promo, and then at the end she just hits that. She just knows when to hit that heel and make it like, oh, she was setting us up to talk down on us. It was a really good promo. Banks looking the shot as hell outside of the chamber. So we're getting Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss, and again, and we'll touch on this when we get to the Asuka versus Nia Jax match. I don't know who in WWE thinks that is even a WrestleMania quality match. Your WrestleMania quality match was to revisit the Sasha Banks Bayley rivalry from NXT 2000. What was it? 15, right? 2015, right? 15 or 16? I think it was 15. Yeah, 15 from the original Takeover and respectively. Yeah, that should have been the match going into WrestleMania. But they might still do that match. Which means we're probably going to have, we're going to have Ronda Rousey in the match. They did confirm that tonight. You're going to have Asuka's championship match. You're going to have the other championship match. Then you're probably going to have Alexa Bliss, not Alexa Bliss, but Bayley versus Sasha Banks in a grudge match. I don't know. That's 4 women's matches, which hardly ever happens, if that happens. We're going to have at least 3. We'll have to wait and see. Titus Worldwide versus The Bar for the Raw Tag Team titles. Who really cares? I knew this match was going to end with The Bar winning the match. Pre-match assault by The Bar before the match, but Titus Worldwide gets a few shots in for the match. Splash off the top rope, 2 count by Apollo after Sheamus tops the count. Apollo gets nailed outside by Sheamus. Before I go any farther, fuck you fans who bring in beach balls. This is WWE's fault for labeling Beach Ball Mania a couple years ago. But fuck you, don't ever come back. If you want to sit there and play with the beach ball, this isn't the fucking beach. We're not in fucking San Diego, California or somewhere where there's a fucking beach. I don't know any, like San Bernardino, one of those fucking places that have a beach. We're not in Miami, Florida, where there's beaches. Leave the beach balls at fucking home. There's no fucking reason for those damn beach balls. If you don't want to be there for the match and you're fucking bored, turn your ass around and go the fuck home. This is a fucking travesty. They did this at least 2 or 3 times a night. Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy later in the night had a decent match, but you couldn't keep attracting, or you couldn't keep like concentrating on the fucking match because you have fucking assholes in the crowd throwing around beach balls. Fuck you, fans. You're the fucking pieces of shit that fucking ruin wrestling. Keep the beach balls at home, you stupid motherfuckers. And what is with these? I don't know who's, like, it's probably Vince feeding them, or maybe Kevin Dunn. I gotta give you some facts from Dana Brooke. She's got all these like bogus facts about Titus Worldwide has won this match, or the bar has lost a match every time there was lemongrass soup in the fucking catering. Who gives a fuck? Them bogus facts were some of the worst things I think I've ever heard. Like, it's like, oh, the bar have lost a match every time there was lemongrass soup in the fucking catering. Oh, so we're gonna bring up catering when you have Titus Worldwide in the match. That speaks to somebody's other podcast who always makes fun of catering, which is Titus catering to them. I call it Kevin Dunn's specialties. You know, he likes his lemongrass with his word. Titus was not in this match at all for most of the match. I thought they were going to pull a Jason Jordan or something. Maybe Titus was hurt, but I didn't think so. And this is funny because I thought wrestling was a banned word in WWE. I know the Revival said it once or twice during a couple promos, and I guess they got them. The WWE got hot with them about it. I don't know if that's true, but you had Corey Graves and Michael Cole calling a couple moves by the Bar classic tag team wrestling. I'm like, I thought wrestling was a banned word. So that's kind of funny. Titus starts tagging eventually, and he has some of the he got some big hands. You think Braun Strowman has big hands, but for the size of Titus O'Neil, this guy's got some big hands, and he's just clubbing the hell out of Cesaro, and he just picks him up and tosses him. Like what Braun Strowman would do. He just tosses him across the ring, and Cesaro is not a small dude. He tossed Cesaro like you would toss the guy, like he would toss just a small dude or something. Like Titus O'Neil is a very strong dude. Cesaro leapfrogs over Titus, tags in Sheamus. This was good playing to the crowd, because Sheamus goes to get on the top rope on the opposite, by his corner. He goes to get up, he slips, and the crowd actually gets on him about it. That's going to be on the next Botchamania by Matthew. That's one of those ones that's going to, and he's just sitting there looking at the crowd, wagging his finger like, not tonight. And then that kind of costs him, because he does go up for a move and Titus catches him. Clash of the Titus, 1-2, and a kick out. I was like, oh my god, they're actually going to win the match when he hit Clash of the Titus, which is a pretty good move. I can't remember who else uses that move under a different name, but Clash of the Titus for Titus O'Neil. Apollo tags in, dives over the ropes onto the bar. Chop block to Apollo, springboard white noise combo to Apollo for the 3 count, and the winners and the tag team champions of the Bar. Post-match, and it was at the beginning of the match too, you just see Sheamus holding his neck, you can tell. I think going into WrestleMania, these two are going to probably face the Revival, and the Revival are going to beat Sheamus and Cesaro, and this is going to be Sheamus' last match. You can just tell after this match, Sheamus looks like he's starting the spinal stenosis that has been reported he has is excuse me. So I think it's starting to wear on him, and it does look like it's starting to show from the way he wrestles. He's just it's starting to show that he probably does have a neck injury, and he's probably going to have to call it a career. And they want to give him a chance to get to WrestleMania. So we only have 5 weeks left to WrestleMania, so I don't think he's going to be wrestling much. If they do any type of things, it's going to probably be Cesaro doing most of the work, so they can get Sheamus to WrestleMania. And I think it's going to be his last match, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but I feel like they're trying to. They know he has this minor neck injury that could become major any time. and they're trying to prolong him to WrestleMania. Nia Jax versus Asuka. If Nia wins, she goes to Mania and makes the match a triple threat match. Now, before I go anywhere else, the WWE booking or people who are making these scripts need to decide: has Asuka decided who she's going for, or has she not chosen yet? Because during the kickoff show, Peter Rosenberg was the only person on the fucking kickoff show. You had David Otunga, you had Booker T, who is a belligerent idiot half the time, and you had Renee Young, all assuming Asuka is going to face the winner of the Women's Elimination Chamber match when she hasn't fucking decided yet. The night after the Royal Rumble, Stephanie McMahon came out and said you should wait to decide, and Asuka has not decided who she's going for yet. Will she do that tomorrow, or will she do that on Tuesday? I don't know. You can't say Michael Cole did spoil how this match is going to end, who was going to win this match, simply by saying, and he did say it too, so it was like, he has been saying it too, and it does say in the graphic, if Nia wins, Nia will be added to the championship, not Raw, not SmackDown, the championship match at WrestleMania. If Asuka is truly going to face Charlotte at WrestleMania, then there was no fucking point in this match. There wasn't. If Charlotte is going to be Asuka's choice and they haven't made that decision yet, why would Raw give up two superstars, two women, in already a depleted division to go to SmackDown? Two of their bigger names on Raw going to SmackDown. No, not happening. Now, I knew from the second that they decided to say championship match at WrestleMania, this match was going to Asuka. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And another thing, who decided, because it wasn't when she first started, who decided to start calling Nia Jax the Irresistible Force? Can I get an answer on that? Because I honestly don't fucking know. It makes no sense to me. I don't know who thought, like, it's just like, that's something that I remember was like the Irresistible Force versus the Immovable Object back at WrestleMania 3. I wasn't alive at that time, but every time you see a promo for it, that's the line that's always used for that match. So why are we going to take the Irresistible Force that I believe was for Hulk Hogan and give it to Nia Jax? Somebody give me that one. Nia Jax looks like she tried to dominate most of this match, but Asuka fought her tooth and nail. Back and forth until Nia tosses Asuka into the mat. Nia runs and goes over the top rope. She tries to run on Asuka. Asuka does the I'm going to jump down and you're going to jump over the top rope shtick, which happens in like a couple of matches when it's a small wrestler versus a big wrestler. And yes, Asuka is the small wrestler in this match. Asuka goes for the running hit toss. Nia sidesteps her and grabs her by the hair and just whips her. And she takes over the match. Nia with a backbreaker, then a charge into the corner, then a running elbow to Asuka on the mat. Asuka rolls around and tries to put a knee bar on Nia Jax. That doesn't work too well because Nia's just standing there like, what the hell are you doing? She picks her up and hits her into the tosses her into the turnbuckle. Torture rack on Asuka, but then she gets out of it and Asuka has a guillotine on Nia, who hits her with what they said was a suplex, except for Corey, who said it looked like a variation of the jackhammer, which it was, but it could have been really bad too. There was a couple botches tonight, this match. Kicks to Nia's head back and like a couple times in the jaw jack by Asuka to Nia. Then some more kicks to Nia's back on to Nia. Then Nia gets back up and hits a Samoa drop. Leg drop missed, and a Shining Wizard for a 2 count for Asuka. Kicks and elbows by Asuka, sending Nia to her knees. Then a kick to Nia's face twice again for a 2 count. Asuka up top, but Nia stops her and Super Samoan drop stop. But Nia like knocks Asuka down, and she goes for the Banzai drop, which the only person I could see out of the group of anybody to actually use the Banzai drop and make it look proper would be Nia Jax. The Usos couldn't do it, even though it's their family heritage. Not any of the other guys really could do it because it just doesn't look right. Nia Jax has that build to actually use the Banzai drop and make it look like it should. Just saying, Braun Strowman you wouldn't see do the Banzai drop, but like anybody you want to see do the Banzai drop and actually make it look like the Banzai drop when Rikishi did it, or of course Yokozuna did it. Nia Jax. I would actually be great to see her have her finisher become the bonsai drop. It would just be different and something for her to do. Nia gets placed into the armbar, but Nia picks up Asuka and runs her into the turnbuckle. She picks up Asuka and taunts her. Nia goes for what looks like a powerbomb, and Asuka reverses it, and Nia picks up a clean victory. Everybody, it seems like, was expecting Alexa Bliss, because we all knew this match was going to happen after the Raw Women's Elimination Chamber match. No point in having it before. Alexa Bliss was going to come out and screw up Nia Jax somehow and have Asuka win because something happened with Alexa Bliss. Nia Jax would come out tomorrow night, and pretty much demand a women's championship match at WrestleMania because of Alexa Bliss screwing her over. That did not happen. How are they going to get to Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax? I do not know. They have the only person, and quite honestly, the only person they have to go up against Alexa Bliss is Nia Jax, because Alexa Bliss was up against everybody else in the Elimination Chamber. She was. And Nia Jax and Asuka goes to WrestleMania against Charlotte. Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Mickie James all are out of the picture because they all went to the Elimination Chamber. They all lost. They should be behind Nia Jax. There is really only one person out of this scenario because of how they built this that should go to WrestleMania, and it is Nia Jax, even though it's not the match that anyone really wants to see, and it's a pre-show match in my opinion, or the Curtain Jerker match to start the show. Post-match, Nia lays out Asuka, tosses her out of the ring. Asuka starts to fight back, but Nia sends Asuka into the turnbuckle post. Then she runs through the barricade, laying out Asuka, and Nia Jax leaves pissed as fuck. In the back, Alexa Bliss says no one is ready for Bliss after Monet makes it sound like, and this is the thing that pisses me off, they said before the match, it even says in the card, that the championship match of Asuka's choosing would have become a triple threat match if Nia Jax won. Then you have Renee Young go up to Alexa Bliss and ask Alexa Bliss, how do you feel about facing just Asuka at WrestleMania, even though Asuka hasn't even fucking picked a match yet, you stupid fucks. Whoever writes these damn scripts, you need to fucking come together and realize, wow, she hasn't picked a championship match yet. So why the fuck are we making it sound like she's going to WrestleMania to face Alexa Bliss? I don't care if they're trying to swerve us. It's fucking stupid and makes Renee Young look really stupid. It makes anybody who sits there, it made Kurt Angle look stupid when he made the match. It made Kurt Angle look stupid. Because he's like, it's going to be Nia Jax versus Asuka, and if Asuka loses, then Nia Jax gets added to the Raw Women's Championship match when she hadn't even chosen a title match. They make the personalities on TV look so fucking stupid when they do this stupid booking. When they write these scripts and make them sound like, oh, she hasn't chose. Oh, she has chose Raw, even though she hasn't. It hasn't come out of Asuka's mouth that she's going to Raw or for the SmackDown Women's Championship. So get your booking shit together. When she makes her decision, then you make those type of fucking questions. Until then, you should have said potentially going up against Asuka at WrestleMania instead of just, oh, you're going up against Asuka. Stupid fucking script. I don't blame Renee Young. I don't blame anyone else. It's the stupid fucking writing these guys have. That the fucking writers have some fucking attention, like short attention spans, and can't fucking remember this shit. Woken Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt. This was really interesting. You had Matt Hardy come out to his music, and he had this nice new purple jacket on that said on the back House Hardy in gold and black. That was a pretty cool thing. Wyatt's graphic goes off. You hear a little like something in the ring. We come back up, and Bray Wyatt's in the ring, but Matt Hardy isn't, but his jacket is. On the loudspeaker, and I wish they would have had Jeff do this, because Jeff is the more musically inclined over Matt Hardy. Matt starts doing the "You'll fade away and classify yourself as obsolete" a couple times. Bray Wyatt gets out of the ring and continues to try and look for Matt Hardy. Bray Wyatt's like not even happy at all at the fact that Matt's playing mind games with him, because for the most part Bray Wyatt plays mind games with his opponent in a losing effort eventually. He does eventually go, well, he's probably under the ring, grabs the ring apron and goes up, and then you hear delete, and Matt Hardy They didn't show where he came from, and I like the fact that they did that. They didn't just like, here's a camera angle of how Matt showed up there. That's great that they didn't do that. Matt's on the steel steps, like out of nowhere, and hits Bray Wyatt with a elbow drop, and they do get into the ring. Bray Wyatt ends up doing his nice little spin back spider thing, and Matt's like, whoa. And he's like, wonderful, and he just starts applauding Bray Wyatt, and Bray Wyatt's like, what the fuck is this guy doing? You have the commentators this whole time calling both of these guys nut jobs, and like, Bray Wyatt might be the normal one in this match. I don't know where this is leading to, but it's like, I hear Solid Monster talking about how these two are probably going to end up teaming together. I really don't want to see that. Bray Wyatt, Matt Hardy, they kind of could have did this feud a little bit better. Matt Hardy does get the win here after a DDT from Matt, side shot from Bray Wyatt to Hardy to slow things down. Wyatt takes over the match. DDT by Wyatt for a 2 count. Fuck the damn beach balls on the outside. Bray Wyatt takes down Matt Hardy on the outside. Wyatt has the upper hand, but if you're watching at home, you really can't fucking pay attention because all you hear is, we want beach balls. We want beach balls. Fuck each and every fucking one of you because I'm sick and tired. I said it earlier, but I'm sick and fucking tired of these damn beach balls. This is WWE's fault for highlighting it a couple years ago after WrestleMania, and I think it was the second 24 special on WrestleMania. There was the Monday Night Mania, the Monday Night Mania 24 special. They talk about Beach Ball Mania. Well, WWE, thanks to you, we have fucking jackasses coming in the crowd with beach balls. How about if you don't want people having them beach balls, how about you don't highlight it in one of your fucking 24 specials? Now you have fans going, well, WWE embraces it, so I'm gonna bring a fucking beach ball when I'm bored. Fuck you fans and stay out of my fucking wrestling. Wyatt has the upper hand. He goes for a Uranagi on the steps. Hardy stops him, but he ends up getting hit with a clothesline, laying out Hardy. Hardy gets back in the ring, but Wyatt with a clothesline out of the corner. Hardy says delete on the ground, which was just like he gets knocked over and he's just like delete and just continues to writhe in pain a little bit. So that's just weird. Wyatt charges way back where Hardy kicks him in a tornado DDT to Wyatt, laying both men out. The crowd does not care for this match most of the time. Now they're doing the wave. This they were doing the wave. This was pretty interesting. Side effect by Hardy for the 2 count. Matt Hardy they're still doing the wave. Matt Hardy plays to the crowd for this and just starts like getting up on the crowd thing and just like playing to the crowd, going around with the wave. He's actually like following the wave up on the turnbuckle, playing to the crowd. Elbow off the top rope to the back of Wyatt's head. Hardy delete chance. Finally gets some delete chance. The crowd Twist of Fate turned into a Uranagi, then a running senton for a 2 count. I do like that move combo there by Bray Wyatt. Of course, Samoa Joe does it better. Rusev Day chants in the crowd. Hey Vince, are you hearing this? Are you hearing this? You don't let us see Rusev Day on SmackDown, yet we come to the Elimination Chamber and you actually have fans in the crowd chanting Rusev Day. Rusev Day. One of the most over things in the company right now, and you're not even fucking giving us them on TV. Yes, if you guys want Rusev Day to actually succeed, you need to continue with those chants, but do it at SmackDown. These guys are working their butts off and having a pretty good match. Wyatt on the top rope, senton off the top rope, missed by Wyatt. Hardy back up for a twist of fate, missed. Clothesline in the corner, Sister Abby missed. Then a twist of fate to Matt Hardy for the 3 count. Your winner is Woken Matt Hardy. Then we had the good and some funny ass shit in this next segment, which was the Ronda Rousey contract signing. Kurt Angle, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon are all out for this. So you're like, okay, how's this going to go? Who's going to go through this table? Is it going to be Ronda Rousey's? Going to make these two pay, or what's going to happen? Maybe Kurt Angle gets a little bit involved. Oh, Kurt Angle makes this a lot of fun. He really does. Cue Triple H. Like before this even started, you had the 3 WWE personalities in the ring. Ronda hasn't come out yet, and the crowd starts chanting Triple H, Triple H. So I'm like, okay, please don't let Vince McMahon hear that, and go, well, we're gonna give Triple H another WWE Championship run because the crowd loves him. No, motherfuckers, we have the crowd loving him because of what he's done for the wrestling business, for WWE, and how he's even made the wrestling like WWE watchable in certain areas that Vince and Kevin I'm like, what? Done? Can't do. I'm sorry, I have to do that. It's just so much fun. What? There was a sign and I loved it. It was Lousy Rousey. I know I shouldn't be saying that, but it was a fun sign. And by the way, Simon Miller is my dad. What the hell kind of sign is that? I saw that tonight too. Rousey does come in with a Piper-inspired jacket. Definitely fits to her. Like maybe they took Piper's jacket and refitted it to her. I doubt it. Don't want to. That should be in WWE archives, not on somebody wearing it. But she comes in with the Piper-inspired jacket. It definitely fits her over the one she actually wore at the Royal Rumble, which was Roddy Piper's actual jacket. Stephanie being all kind right now. She did have a little rocky start to her promo, but she was just overwhelmed with emotion, and you can definitely tell that was real emotion. She looked like she was getting a huge Rousey chant, which I am really surprised about. That video package, even though it was her MMA training for the most part, was definitely helped her out. She looked like she was in tears. She brings up Piper as being a hero, which Piper was not just a hero to her. He was a hero to a lot of people, not just Ronda Rousey, not just there's superstars in the back who probably looked up to Piper. Says if it wasn't for Piper, she probably wouldn't have been that strong in the MMA world, and she probably wouldn't be here now. Which that's what I like, is when people coming in will pay tribute to the superstars of the past, in like Roddy Piper and others. Triple H says that, brings up that she didn't want to be treated like anyone else. She didn't want a title match. She wants to earn that, which is good on her. He said she didn't want any provision. She wanted nothing. She did confirm that she wanted nothing different other than a ticket to WrestleMania. He says you will be competing at WrestleMania after you sign on this dotted line. Rousey goes to sign the contract. Kurt Angle and Triple H are just looking, or talking. She's looking over at Kurt Angle, and she's like, Kurt, you have something to say? Kurt pretty much outs the whole reason why they're here. They brought her here. They wanted to manipulate her. They wanted to get revenge on her for WrestleMania 31, I believe, or 20. It was 31, right? Yeah, 31. And he says this was a good line. Triple H, didn't you tell me 3 years in the making? Now we own the bitch. Oh, that was a good line. Rousey's not happy. Arlington moves Angle out of the ring. Stephanie talks about Ronnie didn't just embarrass them, but impressed them. Angle, as he's leaving, says, "Oh, Steph, one more thing. Didn't you tell me Rousey was a has-been and even you could take her?" He gets chased off by Triple H before anything else can be said. Kurt Angle made this very fucking interesting. I thought she was going to sign the contract, and then it was going to happen, but oh, buddy. She does, Stephanie just trying to get her to sign the contract. They do end up going face to face. Triple H does gets in between the two and backs off. Ronda Rousey has his arms on her shoulder. She backs smacks those off of her, and they stare down. Triple H goes and gets Stephanie out of the ring. Triple H turns around and gets picked up and slammed through the table by Ronda Rousey. Great fucking spot. I'm still not a big fan. She'll have to earn my respect, but this is a good start. She does, in my opinion, I know it was a emotional day because it is a lifelong dream of hers, but she still has probably some work on her promos. I do want to see how she is in the ring. Her first match, of course, is going to be at WrestleMania, so that's not something we can actually sneeze at. I do expect her at Raw tomorrow. Why not? Then Stephanie comes back into the ring, turns Ronda Rousey around, slaps her. She couldn't wait to do this. Just cold cock slaps Ronda Rousey in the face. Says, "Who do you think you are, Ronda? Who do you think you are?" Ronda looks at her and she just quiets up and bails out of the ring. Ronda grabs the contract, signs it, throws it down on Triple H, and leaves. So, yeah, Triple H gets up and isn't really happy at that. So it looks like we're going to have Triple H and Stephanie McMahon versus the Olympic... that would be out of the theme name. The Olympians, Ronda Rousey, and Kurt Angle, because you have an Olympic medalist in, I think it was silver in judo in Ronda Rousey, and of course Olympic gold for Kurt Angle in wrestling. Men's Elimination Chamber match: Roman versus Seth versus Braun versus The Miz versus John Cena versus Balor versus Elias. Yes, we are already on the final match of the night, and I'm at 49 minutes on the show. Roman will face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Elias is in the pod first, and he is out first since he is the last man to enter the ring. He's already in the ring, ready to sing. He does have a new shirt that does say, you couldn't see it all in the beginning because it's just I could see it said "Walk with Elias," and I think it had WWE in red with a live light and a picture of him. Cool looking shirt, be worth buying for those who want to walk with Elias. Which, yeah. My question is, and this is something we've seen with Rusev Day, King Bad News Barrett, Zack Ryder, and others. I know he's over as a heel right now, but how long until Vince McMahon goes, well, he's too over. We must, Vince, Elias is getting too over. We need to kill those Walk with Elias chants. We need to stop showing him. Vince, are you here? Can you hear me? Yeah, how long are they going to go until we actually don't hear Walk with Elias anymore? How long? Because as soon he says it and the whole crowd chants it. Now, he does get the heat from, maybe the fact that he gets heat from talking shit on the fans, talking shit on the town, and others helps save him from getting the Walk with Elias pulled. But how long will it be before we see Elias go from where he is now to jobber and no longer being used on WWE TV because his Walk with Elias is getting too far over? Like we did with Rusev Day, even though Rusev Day is a high-selling commodity right now. Gee, Vince, don't you think you want to capitalize on shit like this? No, not at all. Elias, Braun Strowman, John Cena, and I was surprised about this one. I figured they were going to have him be one of the starting three. Roman Reigns is in the pods. I kind of nailed the first two. I kind of nailed how these ones are going to go too. Just seemed a little too obvious, but yeah. Seth, Balor, and Miz will start the match. Roman is booed majorly in this already, and it comes to a head towards the end. Match starts, all three men going back and forth. Miz trying to take out Balor with Rollins. That doesn't work. Then he tries with Balor to take out Rollins. That doesn't work. He tries the two-sweet Balor, and that does not happen. Rollins and Balor go out the Miz, and they take him out of the picture for a second. Rollins rolls up Balor for a 2 count. Balor and Rollins are going after each other. Miz gets set into the chamber. He kept on trying to get back into the match, and Balor or Rollins would bounce off the rope on the opposite side and come over. They would the other guy would duck, and then they would run into Miz, sending Miz crashing into the cage, into the chamber. So Miz didn't have a good start to this match. Really, he would be the first eliminated in this match, and later on. Rollins with the headlock, Miz again sent into the chamber. Rollins hit with the dropkick by Finn. Sunset flip by the Miz, who finally gets back in this match and gets tagged with the basement dropkick by Balor who gets in control. Balor chops Rollins. Miz goes for an elbow in the corner, but both of them move. High knees by Rollins for a 2 count. Roll up by I think it was Balor by a 3, only for 2. Oh, that's supposed to be Balor, I think. Backbreaker by Rollins. Rollins off the rope with a clothesline suplex into the Falcon Air for a 2 count. I was so hoping that if they didn't book the match the way they did, and Seth Rollins later in the match would have hit his suplex into the Falcon Air and pinned somebody. That is a beautiful combination. I really want to see Seth Rollins, like we had with the Haluva kick into a Blue Thunder Bomb, which we never seen Sami Zayn do until a couple weeks ago, like last month. I would really like to see Seth Rollins win a match one time with the suplex into the Falcon Arrow. It's just an awesome move. Maybe the superplex, then the Falcon Arrow, just because it is a beautiful combination. It does look like not a championship match, but maybe some like grudge match or something. Just one with a suplex into the Falcon Arrow. It's just too beautiful a move not to win a match with. Kick the gut, then the blackout miss. Finally miss. Rollins kicks back both Balor and Miz. Double blockbuster for a 2 count. That was awesome. Just doing the blockbuster to one guy is hard enough. Doing it to 2 guys is even harder. Cena comes in next, which I kind of figured he was going to. Slowly walks into the match, which is different. Cena smiles, and he and Rollins stare down. They trash talk each other. Rollins shoves Cena, who laughs it off. Again, he does it. Then Cena shoves him and shoulder tackles from Cena. Rollins goes for the Revolution knee. They didn't, like, I don't know when they started calling it the Revolution Knee, but it is the Revolution Knee now, which is better than just calling it the Knee. They have a name for it, which I am fine with the Revolution Knee. It's nice to see, even though he's brought the Curb Stomp, aka the Blackout, back, which I think the Blackout's a better name than the Stomp, that he still uses the Revolution Knee. It's nice that he has more than one finisher, so he could end the match multiple ways, like AJ Styles has, or John Cena sometimes can, or others. It's not cool to only have one finisher because it just gets boring. Roman. Knee, but he turns that into the backdrop. 5-knuckle shuffle block. Cena hits a backdrop to both Rollins and Miz. Double 5-knuckle shuffle, but a standing stomp to Cena. Then a standing stomp to Cena from Finn Balor for a 2 count. Balor rolls up the Miz for a 2 count. Drop kick by Balor. Stomp by Rollins for a super kick. Seth Rollins elbows in the corner to Balor and the Miz. Cena goes for a double AA. Balor, which, yes, even though it was two small guys, the double AA still looks pretty crazy. What would have been even crazier was if he would have got Miz, Rollins, and Balor all on his shoulders at once, because that would have been like the Big Show and Edge back when he did it to those two at WrestleMania a couple years ago. I think that was WrestleMania. Something like that. That would have been crazy. So he still has Seth on his shoulders. And he ends up, this was really cool because he had Seth on his shoulders still. Balor goes to do something. He just does the spin around and hits Balor with Seth's feet as he's still on his shoulders. They get, like, Seth gets out of that, ends up getting hit with the combo moves by the Miz. I can't remember what they actually call it. Miz thrown into the chamber again by Seth Rollins with jumping stomps to Cena. Cena right back up, right hand to Balor. Miz with his clothesline in the corner. Cena and Rollins going for a superplex at the same time as Balor hit superplexing the Miz. And they both get nailed. First Cena, then Balor. Next up is Roman Reigns. If you didn't see that coming, I don't know what you've been watching. Roman going after everyone. He does come after him. Right hands to Cena, Balor, and the Miz. Then Balor again. He and Rollins stare each other down, which I think they still stare each other down a little bit too long because the Miz shoves Roman into Rollins, then kicks to the face of Roman, then a snap DDT to Rollins again for the 2 count. Miz trying to decide who to hit the yes kicks to. And he starts hitting everybody. He actually played up to the crowd with this because he had all the other four men sitting down in the position for this, and he points to Cena, then the Reigns, then the Rollins, then the Balor. And he's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna hit everybody." Then of course he hits everybody I think once, and then he starts doing it to Roman Reigns. He does go for that, I'm gonna like size it up and hit you with one running one. Misses that, which I don't think he ever hits that one. He always gets hit with a power bomb or something. He misses that one, and Roman with a clothesline, then off the ropes by Roman. Balor from behind. Balor tosses Rollins outside the ring. Roman off the top rope for a 2 count on Balor. Roman rolls up and hits a powerbomb on Balor. Samoan drop to Cena. Sit out powerbomb to the Miz for only a 2 count. Crowd champs get these hands because everyone knows who's coming in next. Roman goes for the Superman punch, but the count clock ends. So he does his little down on the mat, getting ready for that Superman pose. But he stops what he's doing because the countdown clock stops, ends, and Braun Strowman is in. Who takes his time to get out of the pod. Rollins whipped into the chamber. Braun comes in and wastes everyone. Miz runs from Braun. Strowman is ganged up and Strowman blocks and super kicks both Cena and Rollins. Braun catches Balor and just slams him into Roman. Corey Graves at this time says, "Braun, what's your weapon of choice? Human bodies." I can see it. Miz climbs the chamber to get away from Braun, who gets up there and catches Miz and bounces him off the plexiglass, that big huge plexiglass top of the chamber. He tosses Miz off the top of the chamber pod into everyone else, which they needed to do that. That was a pretty cool spot. Even though you don't those spots are getting a little old, where you have 4 or 5 people standing around waiting to catch the person who's falling or getting tossed. What happened to you just throw somebody and they just fall? I did that at the War Games in NXT, where you had Killian Dane and Adam Cole up on top of the cage, and you had Killian Dane suplex Adam Cole onto everybody who was just waiting there to catch. It's just bad. Braun gets down and starts staring down at Elias, who isn't in the match yet. Stomps on Miz, then fist smacks Miz on the chest, then the same to Roman. Braun dominates the smash so far. Rollins from behind, but he pays for that. Rollins tossed to the outside by Braun. He picks up Miz and power slams him for the 1-2-3, and Miz is eliminated. Elias is about to enter the match, but he closes the pod. Now, unlike the Women's Elimination Chamber match when Alexa Bliss did that, the referee opened the other side so Alexa Bliss could run out that side. He didn't do that here. But Braun Strowman turns around and he gets attacked by all of the other men in the chamber. 4-man powerbomb. Roman Reigns and John Cena were the ones holding him. Seth Rollins and Ben Balor hit, like they call it, the Shield Bomb, the triple powerbomb plus one. It's a triple powerbomb. They did not call it the Shield Bomb back in 2012 to 2014, so why the fuck are we calling it the Shield Bomb now? Anyway, hits that. All 4 men pin him and he kicks out. This is what pisses me off about how this match ended. Cena hits the AA to Strowman and he kicks out. Spear by Roman and he kicks out. That was probably like, holy shit, he actually kicked out of a spear. Blackout to Strowman. Balor hits a coup de grace on the outside. AA to Roman, then a kick to Cena, and everyone is down. Then there was a couple times where it looked like Roman could have been eliminated, and it didn't happen. Elias comes out and goes to the pin on everybody, except for Strowman. Everybody kicks out. Elias goes for Roman in the corner, and then a knee to Balor and Rollins. Elbow to Rollins, who kicks out. Elias has Roman in the electric chair, turned into a powerbomb, but only gets a 2 count. Braun is back in, tosses Elias in the corner, who ends up on the shoulders to post Elias to the post. Elias, and this makes Elias look stupid. Why? I know he tried to put Rollins in the electric chair, but of course Roman Reigns stopped that, and Roman Reigns ended up getting the electric chair to him. Why the fuck were you going for the electric chair powerbomb combo onto Braun Strowman? That made Elias look really stupid. But he can't get up, and Strowman power slams him. Elias is gone. 1-2-3. He is eliminated. Strowman has Roman. He taunts him, goes for the power slam, but knees to Strowman. Balor remains. Cena gets caught in power slam for a 3 count. Cena is eliminated. The final 4 all stand up. Roman slapped to the mat again. So Rollins and Balor face to face with Rollins. Balor face to face. Balor with the shot to Braun, who kicks to Strowman on enough. Balor up top, caught power slam, turned into a drop kick into the corner twice. Balor goes for the coup de grace, only for a 2 count. Balor and Rollins going after it again, over the head to Rollins, a 19-16 to Rollins for a 2 count. Sling blade by Balor, drop kick to Roman, coup de grace to Roman, which this is another time that you could have had Roman Reigns eliminated, but Braun Strowman grabs Finn Balor, power slams him, and he is eliminated. Why didn't Strowman let Roman eliminate Balor? Balor eliminate Roman? Because they do it for Roman, and Roman has to go to WrestleMania. Roman and Rollins look to team up on Strowman, both men on one side of Strowman as they attack Strowman. He ends up on the outside of the ring as Roman and Rollins wear him down into the chamber. They go for Strowman once more by Rollins and Reigns. Roman tossed into the chamber by Rollins, so as Johnson Coachman asked us, why did they do this now when you need to get rid of Braun Strowman? But, Rollins has his own thing for it. Roman blocks the blackout, and then a buckle bomb into a Superman punch. Braun grabs Rollins, who ends up climbing up the chamber as Strowman follows. Roman with a sloppy Samoan drop, which wasn't his fault because I think Braun Strowman didn't let go of the chamber or whatever he was doing in that section enough to be able to get hit with the Samoan drop better. This is another reason why the padding is good for being there instead of the steel grates, because that Samoan drop would not probably be happening if they still had that steel around the outside. It's a lot safer for them to do high spots. Rollins goes for the frog splash on Strowman, who kicks out from the pod, mind you. All 3 men up again. Rollins and Strowman both going for the powerbomb. Rollins on Strowman, both him and Roman Reigns are going for the powerbomb. Drop kick to Reigns by Strowman. Rollins with 2 super kicks to Strowman, who eliminates Rollins with the power slam. Strowman and Roman are left, and you think that Roman Reigns was going to get beat by Braun Strowman, you are shit out of luck. Strowman calling Roman into the ring. They stare down, and Roman and Braun go at it. Strowman sends Roman outside of the ring. Strowman goes for a power slam. Roman blocks it and whips Braun Strowman. Strowman goes through a pod when Roman sidesteps in. Superman punch, Roman with another one. Punch, power slam missed into a Superman punch. Roman with one spear, a second spear, and Roman wins the fucking match after all of that. What a joke. Post-match, running power slam to Roman. Roman with another one. He hits 2 running power slams. He grabs Roman and throws him to the other pod on the same side. Yeah, Roman was the winner, and again, are you serious, as I put in my notes. So, you had Braun Strowman eliminate Balor, eliminate Cena, eliminate Elias, eliminate Miz, and eliminate Seth Rollins, and yet he's not the winner of this match. As they said, the most dominant looking, this is like Bill Goldberg back in 2003, only no sledgehammer shot. Bill Goldberg I don't think he eliminated everybody, but he came damn near close. And it looked like he was going to win the whole damn thing, and then you know what happened. He gets hit with one, not even a really good sledgehammer shot. It's like he missed the spear, the sledgehammer tapped him, and he's down for the count, 1, 2, 3. Which I think they should have still did a little bit better, but that's not here nor there. So, how does this make Roman Reigns look good going into fucking WrestleMania? You just had Braun Strowman dominate the entire fucking match. And 2 spears later, even though he kicked out of a spear earlier, which I don't think WWE was really happy about that one, because you have Roman Reigns' spear looking like this be-all, end-all move, which it's a fucking spear. Edge had a spear too. It still didn't look good. The spear should never be somebody's finisher. It should be a setup for a finisher, but not the fucking finisher. That was your Elimination Chamber. You had the women who had a pretty decent match. It wasn't a Elimination Chamber classic, but it was better than some of the worst Elimination Chambers we have seen. But again, why did you book this fucking match to make? You try to make Braun Strowman look strong in this match, but yet you sacrifice all of that, everything that Braun Strowman did up until those final few minutes means nothing when he takes 2 spears and that's it. I'm surprised he took 2 spears at the end to end the match. I figured it was just going to be 1 more spear and that was it. But no, they had him he got up. I don't think he was supposed to, but he got up, eats another spear, 1, 2, 3, and we have Braun Strowman losing to Roman Reigns after he eliminated everybody else and did all the fucking work. So basically, Braun Strowman did all the fucking work in this match, and Roman Reigns walks out, your winner. What about a fucking joke right there, and the poor ass booking of this shit. Do you really think this is going to make Roman Reigns look any better? You just had Braun Strowman go through everybody else but Roman, and Roman wins the match. How does that make Roman Reigns look like he can beat Brock Lesnar? It doesn't. It looks like Braun Strowman could beat Brock Lesnar if they would actually have done that, but they didn't. And to anybody who thought that this was going to be Braun Strowman or Seth Rollins winning this match, then I don't know what you've been doing. You have been living under a rock. I don't know why they even thought that was a good way to book this match. When they did the 4-man powerbomb, if that would have had Braun Strowman eliminated that way, I would have been fine with it. That would have been, okay, well, you had everybody minus Elias who was still in the match. Put Braun Strowman away. Now we'll see who can actually win this. But no, let's have Roman Reigns beat Braun Strowman, who just dominated the entire fucking match. Oh, Roman Reigns looks like the one guy who could beat Brock Lesnar. Yes, he'll be on Monday Night Raw tomorrow to confront Brock Lesnar. So we'll see what happens there. No, we're not going to get the fucking triple threat match that everyone's been pitching. That shit's not happening. Anybody who thinks Seth Rollins is going to go to WrestleMania to get himself inserted in this championship match is dreaming. Vince McMahon wants Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. That graphic they showed tonight, they've just been itching to put on the TV screen since WrestleMania 33. That graphic has probably been made up since last year. So we have Roman Reigns going to WrestleMania to face Brock Lesnar. As you heard towards the end of this match, after Braun Strowman went into the pod, he sidestepped, and Roman Reigns sidestepped, and he went to the pod. As they went back into the ring, the crowd showered Roman Reigns with boos because everybody realized at that time, if you didn't already, that Roman Reigns was winning this match. Was it a decent Elimination Chamber? Yes. Was it the best of all time? Fuck no. Women did a good show tonight. Did great tonight. They had a good showing. It was way better than that Hell in a Cell match debacle we had 2 years ago. What are they gonna do with the Miz in the Intercontinental Championship? What is going to happen with Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Elias, and John Cena? We're going to have They had, and this was something that just kind of stuck out to me when they were having the entrances. I didn't notice it until we got to the men's elimination chamber match. I mentioned it a couple times on Twitter. They had a black square in the middle of the entranceway. Now, I didn't think the Undertaker was going to show up. It was too small for somebody to come through. I figured what they were going to do was have lightning come down or do something to distract Cena, and like lightning, like Cena is going up for like some kind of AA, and then the lightning bolts come down in that spot, and like what we see there is like the Undertaker, like somehow the Undertaker symbol shows up there and it's on fire, and then Cena gets eliminated. That would have been something to set up WrestleMania. So Cena would have been eliminated instead of just everybody getting eliminated by Braun Strowman minus Roman Reigns, and then Braun Strowman gets eliminated by Roman Reigns after 2 spears. Yawn. Hope you guys are ready for Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns and what will be the worst main event in the last few years. Well, in the last 10, 15, 20 years. Because nobody is going to care. Vince McMahon, I will say this, with Fastlane being 2 weeks away, you better fucking stick to Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles, because if you don't, you're making a massive mistake, because that is the only match at this time worth WrestleMania to me. But I'm getting out of here. I'll be back here tomorrow for Monday Night Raw. Make sure to find me on Twitter at TheFront. Find me on twitch.tv/TheFront08. And I will see you guys back for Monday Night Raw review when we see what happens when Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Are we going to have a tug of war again like we did the Go Home show to WrestleMania 3 years ago, which was just fucking stupid? Or are we going to have these two brawl? What's going to happen with Ronda Rousey? What's going to happen between Bayley and Sasha Banks? If we go into tomorrow's show and Bayley and Sasha Banks are back to being buddy-buddy and there's nothing followed up, I don't know what the fuck the point was. But I'm getting out of here. You guys have a good afternoon, evening, or night, and I will see you guys tomorrow.